All right. Now for the first one here, Aaron stayed in a hotel. Now, with these types of problems, what you need to do is, now granted, I don't think that you have had to go and pay for a hotel yet, but if you have, or if you've if you've purchased anything, that's why I teach math, remember, if you've purchased anything, think about what happens when you pay. Now, this situation is just you're staying in a hotel, or Aaron is staying in a hotel that charges $99.95 a night. And we're trying to figure out how are we going to be able to calculate the bill after an X number of days. So we're not in Michigan because Michigan has a 6% sales tax. There's an 8% tax going on right for this one. So we're in some other state. We might be in California, or we might be in like Chicago. I think Chicago's like 8.5%. Maybe Florida. I don't know. Who cares? We're somewhere else besides Michigan. And it says there's a tax of 8% applied to the room rate and a one-time untaxed fee of $5. How are we going to do this? Let me ask this question first. How many people picked A? 1, 2, 3. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. There's about 10 of you. B. All right. 3. C. 2. D. All right. 0. No one picked D. That's good because D is not the answer. D is not the answer. Now, when you think about this, think about like if you're purchasing DVDs or if you're purchasing CDs or if you're purchasing Slurpees. How are we going to calculate how much we're going to actually pay for the room? Well, it's 99.95 per night. How many nights are there going to be? Do we know? No. We're staying X nights. So this is X. So this is cost per night times the number of nights. Now, how do you figure out tax? If I want to add on tax, so this is the room cost. Okay, I'm going to multiply my total cost by what? Yeah, by 0.08, because that's going to tell me what the tax is. So that's 99.95x. Now, is there untaxed part to it? How much was that? $5. Now, here's the thing that is going to be pretty important for us. I can add these two things together. Because this is like saying that's one of those, right? And there's 0.8 of those. What's 1 plus 0.8 or 0.08? 1.08 times 99.95 x. A 1 from here. I'm going to show you in a second here. Plus 5. So the correct answer is B. Now, the big question always comes up is, where does this 1.08 come from? Now, the 1.08 can be broken down into 1.00 plus 0.08. This is 100% of the total cost. So whatever you're paying for the rooms, or for the room, that's where the 1 comes from. It's 100%. Here is your tax rate. So with every single time, like if we're in Michigan and, for example, if I'm buying 10 CDs at $15, it'd be 15 times 10. This is going to be the cost of the CDs But then what the computer does at the register is going to multiply by 1.06, because it's going to multiply it by 100% to give me the total cost, and then the 0.06 is the tax. So the 1 represents 100%, this represents 6% tax. And instead of doing it like this and saying, here's your total cost plus your tax, you can do it all in one step, just 1.08, 1.06, whatever your tax is, as long as you can figure out what your total cost is going to be. Now, every practice test that I've seen has a problem like this on it, where you build this up. And so don't get freaked out by this 1.08. Think of it as 100%, which is your total cost. That 1 is your total cost, that's your tax. This, like this guy up here, this is saying if I stayed 10 nights, it'd be 10 times 0.8, so 10 times 8 cents, which would be 80 cents. So it'd be basically 99 point, that's not even right because it's 99.5, but 99.95 plus 80 cents. Does that make sense? No, that doesn't make any sense at all. This one says cost per night times the number of nights. The 108 is going to be tax and the total in tax, and then there's that $5 extra fee. That's probably for using the ice machine. I don't know if it's using the ice machine. All right. Now the second one. How many people picked A? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How many people picked B? All right, 1. C? 1, 2, 3, 4. D? Didn't you already vote? No. Oh, okay. All right, so presidential election. Out of the 20 some odd kids that we have in here, 15 voted. Now, in this problem, it says a 20-year-old needs 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day. It says, ladies and gentlemen, please. Milk contains 299 milligrams. Juice contains 265, and we're going to talk about the number of cups of milk and the number of cups of juice that you drink during the day if you're 20 years old. And what's the phrase that tell us what type of a symbol we're going to use to relate these two numbers? It's to meet or exceed. If I meet it, how much am I, if I'm meeting my allowance, it's equal to, right? So meet means, this part means equal to, if I'm exceeding 1,000, it's greater than. So if I put these two things together, I get greater than or equal to. Now, I got to figure out how much calcium I'm getting from milk. I know there's 299 milligrams of milk per cup, and I'm going to drink M cups. So how do I figure out how much calcium did I get? Do I multiply it? Because there's two choices here. There's either multiplying it or dividing it. Do I multiply by the number of cups, or do I divide by the number of cups? Multiply. So 299M plus, because I'm going to do with the juice, do I do the same thing with juice? Yeah, it's going to be 261J is greater than or equal to 1,000. Majority won on that one. Nice job, guys. Majority won. I can understand where the rest of the majority came down here and they divided instead of multiplied. But just think of this. If you had 2 cups of milk, what are you going to do with the 299? Are you going to divide it by 2? Or is it 299 plus 299? It's that 299 plus 299, which is really 299 times what? Times 2 by the number of cups. So, again, don't think of this as a math problem. Think of it as a real life thing that you're trying to figure out how much. You're a fitness freak, and you want to make sure that you want to get 1,000 milligrams into your body. Well, you need to figure out how much you're going to get from milk and how much you're going to get from juice, and it's going to be greater than or equal to 1,000. So the only way to do that, a lot of times, is multiplication. Very seldom do we end up dividing. Have you noticed that? A lot of times when we're talking about rates, unless it's a work problem. Work problems are the ones where we have the division stuff going on. Most everything else is we're going to multiply. So that's one of those ideas that, all right, a lot of times you're going to have something and multiply it by how many you got, and that's what you're going to end up with. So that happens a lot. All right. This one, this one's not bad. Once you see how it's done. It says, what fraction of all solids and liquids are metalloids? Now, where's the metalloids here? And I want solids, liquids that are metalloids. Now, so I need solids, right? And I need liquids. So, how many metalloids are solids and liquids? 7 plus 0, right? So add those two. And then the total number of solids and liquids are... So the answer to this one just ends up being 7 over 92. Now, in a problem like this, ladies and gentlemen, you see how I highlighted the columns and the rows that I wanted? You can, if you don't have, I don't think they allow you highlighters on the test, but you got your pen, you could actually just do this. And then we're talking about totals. And that's a way that you can help yourself kind of get the information out of the chart that you need. No, I'm fine. Remember, you want to make things as easy on yourself as you possibly can. And ignoring like all the gases, all the metals, all the non-metals, focusing on the metalloids and focusing on the solids and the liquids, that's going to make this thing so much easier on you. And that's what you want to do. You want to make it easier on you. Now, I didn't put a fill-in thing on this. Just remember when you write this, you've seen it a couple times already. You'd have to write it like this. You can justify it to the left like this and get it right. Or if you're like this, you justify it to the right and get it right. So according to whatever group is actually going to be checking this, they said it doesn't matter. I don't know how much I believe them, but they said it doesn't matter if you go to the left or you go to the right. Just make sure you pick one of them, and just don't write it right in the middle. And the nice thing about all the fill-ins are they're going to be positive numbers. So if you get a negative number, you know you did it wrong, because there are no negatives on there. All right, I love this one. This one's going to be, when you see this, you're going to be like, oh, that's easy. All right. How many people think there are no solutions? How about one solution? 1, 2. I'll take one. How about two solutions? 1. How about 3 solutions? 1, 2, 3, 4. How about 4 solutions? Don't just put up your hand just because. How many people don't know? 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't be shy. It's okay.
I think that's the right answer.
All right. Now, here is the secret to any type of graph that you're looking at. Ask yourself, how many equations are there? There's 3. So for any system, pay attention, please. For any system, all the graphs have to intersect. For the intersection to be a solution. Each other. So, what you guys want to keep your phones? Now, in this case, guys, let's think back. When we had 2 lines, they intersected each other, right? You could have a parabola. These are your solution points. Now take a look at what's going on here. Where does the circle, the line, and the parabola all intersect each other? Is it here? No, because only 2 of them hit. Yeah, right here's a solution because you have the circle, the line, and the parabola. Here's only 2 of them, so that doesn't count. But here, all 3 of them do. So there are 2 solutions to this one.